put on the jersey, you're saying, I want to play. Right? That's what you're saying. But what has happened is that we've got so many people out there. Number one, they got the wrong jersey on. And number two, they don't want to play. They don't want to play. They want to sit on the bench. Right? That's what they want to do. So we've been trying to wake up people. Say, all right, look, come on now. Especially people we think on the wrong team. Why you got this jersey on anyway? You don't even want to play on that side. You know? Just go unaffiliated if nothing else. But if you're going to put on a jersey that says Republican, be willing to play the game. Be willing to get involved. Does that make sense? Because we're American. We got a choice. We could be unaffiliated, all of us. We all could be independent. But when we register, we say we want to be involved. But we have created a culture where people don't think like that. I got to put something down, so I'll put something down. And just kind of go with that. I was asking myself the other day, as a pastor and as a preacher and as a Christian, after a while, when you can't get people to play, you say, what in the world am I doing here? What's this thing all about anyway? Some of you probably thought about saying things along the road. Why am I bothered with this? Right? Why bother with this? This is not my calling. Why bother with this? So I had to take that thing to God. Now, I'm saying all this for the few of you that are here. So if you're here, you need to hear this. And so I had to come to grips with myself. Why play the game? Why get out here and be part of any party? Or why be a part of the Republican Party now when it seems to be dead here in our county? When it's hard to pull people, out of the bench and say, come on, we got to play. And then as I wrestle with that, listen to me. And I went to God and said, all right, you want to call the shot. Tell me why you need to be bothered with this. Because when I look at it, we've got contentions between the ranks. We got people at different levels that can't seem to work together. We got stuff that's just eating up our time. Why? And especially when you're not getting paid. But God spoke to me, and I'm going to share this with you guys. God spoke to me. He said, don't back out of this now. Just hang in there for a little while. There is a reason. When we created more than one party, the biggest issue was whether or not we were going to free the slaves. That was really the biggest issue. Prior to having two parties, we had one party, and they were all for keeping the slaves in place. But then rose up the Republican Party and said, no, we don't think that's right. So we created a Republican Party.
Yes.
All right? But we got over that. And then we started looking at some other issues that made the two parties different, as the years go on. And most of them were, just stuff, just difference of opinion and stuff, because most of the people in our earlier history had basically the same values, but just looked at things a little bit differently. But they were still different. But today we have a different challenge. We have really risen above economics. We've really risen above the race thing. Mm-hmm. We really have. We've risen above some of the minor issues. And now what we're dealing with are issues, listen, that really attack our values.
Come on.
Yep.
And if you attack my values, then you're attacking God's values.
There you go. Absolutely.
And now what we're dealing with is not just two political parties in one country we call United States. What we're dealing with is some spiritual issues. We're watching the book of Revelation unfold before us, but we never thought it would happen in our days. So now we have an entity that's trying to take the whole country, weaken it, and push it to the next level so that it could be controlled. But in order to do that, you got to get rid of two things. You got to get rid of guns. You got to get rid of God.
Amen.
Won't work in America unless you get rid of those two things.
Come on.
From a value standpoint, what we are dealing with now is two parties, one on one side and one on the other side. I believe that the Democratic Party have just has been taken over by entities that's got it so far left that it wants to leave God out of everything. It wants to leave God out of everything. A couple decades ago, we were concerned about whether or not abortion laws was going to pass. Well, that became legal. But now we're dealing with a party that's supporting, listen to me now, that's supporting not just abortion, but killing babies after they're born.
Yes.
That's a spiritual issue, folks.
Amen on
Yes.
that.
That's a spiritual issue. Are you with me?
Amen.
We were dealing a couple of decades ago with the homosexuality, whether or not to treat the homosexuals with the same basic civil rights as we dealt with races and stuff. But now we've got one party that has pushed this thing so far, we say it's okay to get married.
Yeah.
That's a spiritual issue.
Yes, sir.
That's a spiritual issue. A couple of decades ago, we were wrestling about whether or not we were going to support Israel. Now, more and more, we've got the Democratic Party, I got to call it like it is, that's saying that we got senators that's saying Israel's of the devil, and we need to get rid of it. That's a spiritual issue. Now the values are so different that you can't miss it. You really can't miss it. We're using the words liberal and conservative, but really what we're dealing with is God and anti-God.
Yes.
So I said all that to say that what God has spoken to me, he said, no, you can't get out of this thing because you've got to awaken as many people as you possibly can to the reality of what they're dealing with. And right now, the Republican Party has just happened to be the party that demonstrating values closest to mine. So that's the choice I got. For those of us that are saved and Christians, the Democratic Party the whole thing is going crazy.
Not what it was 20 years ago.
It's worse.
Yeah.
It's really way on the other end. And it's not politics, it's spiritual.
Yes.
And when we open our eyes to that, we will see that.
Yes.
Now, I don't know where the Republican Party is going to be 10, 20 years from now, all right? Because of the needs for votes. I don't know what people will do that's in leadership. But I know today, we don't have a choice. We really don't have a choice. The culture has made it so that if you are a Republican, especially in the venue that we live in, it's almost a curse word to say you're a Republican. But that's a tactic of the enemy to keep you from getting people's eyes open to the truth of what they're dealing with. We don't have a choice, is what I'm saying. We must embrace one direction or the other. One of them's lining up pretty much close with God's values. The other one is just so far away. It's just so far away.
Amen.
But the people have been blinded. They don't know what they're doing. They just say, give me a jersey. Give me a jersey. Well, your daddy got that kind of jersey. Wear that jersey. Give me a jersey. They don't even want to play the game, really. They really don't. They really want to sit on the bench. But they're just following. We got a culture in our country that's just following. We need the Republican Party. Right now we're in Hertford County, so we need it strong, active, alive, awake in Hertford County. So for the few of us that's here from Hertford County, I just want to encourage you, listen, let's get involved. Let's just get involved. Let's make this thing happen. The Bible says God's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. So I don't care what it looks like. I think that we can make a difference. We can make a difference. Now, the local races shouldn't be partisan at all. They really shouldn't be partisan at all, but we don't have no control of that. But they shouldn't be, because we're electing people to run businesses, to run a city, to run a county. We're electing people because of the economics, not to make any laws that's going to govern our lives. But at the state and the national level, it's important what people's values are. Are you with me? It is extremely important what people's values are. So as Christians, and men and women that love God, want to serve God, we need to do everything that we can to put people in office, especially at the state and the federal level, that have our values. Does that make sense?
Amen.
We need to do that. So I'm in this thing.
All right.
I got the jersey on.
All right.
I'm ready to play.
All right.
I'm ready to play. So everywhere I go, I tell people, okay, look, this is America. You put on whatever jersey you want to put on. But I tell the people in our church, and they've heard it, they're probably sick of hearing it. I said, this is America. You vote for who you want to vote for. All right? You register under whatever party you want to register. But at least have the common sense to know why you're registering that way. Are you with me? 90%, if not better, of our citizens here in Hertford County are conservatives. They just don't know it. Somebody's got to tell them. That's why I'm staying in this thing. All right? That's why I'm staying in this thing. Because too many people need to hear that they need to be responsible. And if they're going to put on the jersey, I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican, they need to be willing to get in the game. Most people don't even know how the game is played. They just register. Be encouraged if you hear it from Hertford County. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. Be willing to do whatever you can do. Sometimes it's just a matter of a donation or whatever to make sure that the party goes on. But be willing to do what you can do. We're in a spiritual battle, not just a political battle. And the devil wants to consume us all. We've got people now in the Democratic Party. Listen. I'm 71 years old. Listen. I have never in my life heard of somebody coming out and openly saying, I'm a socialist and I want to take this country toward a socialist situation. But now it's just public. And the sad part about it, most people don't even know what that means.
You need to go to a socialist country and see what it's like.
They don't even know what that means. But they say, well, I'm going to still vote for them. Lord, somebody's got to wake them up. Examine yourself and ask yourself why you are part of the Republican Party. Why did you register as a Republican? Why did you put on that jersey? Why? If you're not going to play the game, take the jersey off. Just be unaffiliated. That's my talk everywhere I go. All right. That's it. Just take the jersey off. But if you want to make your team win, let's get in here and do something about it. You know, we can't do everything, but the little bit that we can do, we will do.